Hello, welcome to Shad Life. I've got my fat bike in the stand, and you might be wondering, why do I have SRAM brake fluid and a Q-tip, cotton swab, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of this funny world where we call things by their name brand and not by what they actually are. What I'm going to do is, I saw this on GMBN Tech, because if you've been following my channel, I was talking about how the brakes just don't quite have that like good feel to them anymore. And I noticed when I had these apart that the pistons seemed like there was a lot of gunk and stuff around them. So I saw on GMBN Tech that you can take out the pads and everything. Obviously you got to remove the wheel too. And then when you have the pads out, you actually do what you're not supposed to do. You pull the lever and make the pistons get pushed in, and then you can get at them, and you use the same as you use the brake fluid to kind of clean them around the pistons and things like that. And then you gotta push them back in and once they're pushed back in, you can put the pads and everything in, and then I'm gonna try the brakes and see if this actually works. So this is gonna be does this actually work video, because right now when I squeeze both the front and rear brake, it just, I mean, they work, but they don't spring back. They don't feel like they're really doing how they should do, like on all my other brakes. Like that feels good, that feels good, you know, all my other brakes feel great. But these, yuck. So let's go ahead and try this, see if it works. Okay, so I'm gonna try and show this. So I'm pushing in the lever. This is the rear lever, and see how the pistons put out. Ooh, now I think I see a problem. Why aren't those other pistons pushing out? Oh my goodness. I think I might now know why these don't work so great. Okay, let me take a closer look at this. Some of the best parts about having a YouTube channel are to just show you the absolute utter failures. So technically, so what I did is, after the video you just saw where only one piston moved, I went and did a bunch of brake pumping and used the handle of a crescent wrench to hold the piston that was moving in while I forced the other ones to move. So I got this other one to move, as you can see, but the two on this side don't really want to move. So that's a problem. So I got to keep messing with this and try to get all four pistons to move, and if I can't, I might have to just replace this whole brake caliper. So technically, how this is supposed to work is you pull in the lever and get these calipers, or these pistons, to move a little bit, and then you can take the SRAM fluid and clean them off and kind of re-lubricate them, and then you push them back in, and then everything should be fine and dandy. But what ended up happening is that one pushed all the way out, and then a bunch of fluid leaked out, so I had to re-bleed the brakes and everything. So yeah, a little bit more on this project, but you can clearly see how crappy and even rusty it is in there. So these brakes might just be done. Too much salt, road salt and stuff on them. So I actually got that one to move. So what I did is I stuck something on the left here to keep those pistons from moving, and then used the crescent wrench handle to keep that one right there. I gotta take the flashlight. So I held that one in place, put something between those two, and then that forced that one to move. So now I'll try cleaning that one and see if I can revive this brake to get it to work again. I might be able to actually do it and save this brake from having to replace it. Okay, so let's look, and if you can see how the pad on this side, yeah, focus, the pad on this side, there's space where it's away from the body of the brake and space over there. So I can tell all 4 pistons are actually pushing in the pads now. So that's going to give me better braking power. So yeah, and then when I release, they go back. The spring is able to push back a little bit on them. So that's good. And I got to do the front now. One lesson I learned before I do the front is when I started this, I started to pull the lever, and because 3 of these pistons weren't moving and only that one was moving, that one piston moved a lot, and it actually moved out far enough for the fluid to leak out, and then that's why I had to re-bleed the brakes again to get the fluid back in because a bunch leaked out. So when I'm working on the front now, I'll know to watch for that. And if I'm pulling the lever and I'll just start slow and I see that only one piston or even a couple of them are moving, I'll have to stop and make sure I don't push them out too far and get the fluid to leak out, because then I'll have to re-bleed those brakes, and I don't want to have to do that. So that's a lesson I learned on that, because I wasn't expecting that piston to push all the way out like that. And you saw it in the video where it came out and then you saw the fluid kind of leak out. So yeah, cool. Let's do the front. I'm not going to video that. I think there was enough content and lesson learned watching this one to see what I was doing. Basically took a Q-tip and went in and got it, you know, dipped it into the SRAM brake fluid and then rubbed that fluid all over the pistons once I got them pushed out. Now there goes the hot water heater. Okay, that was kind of a wild experience. But the brake feels like 1,000 times better. Like, it's amazing. I'm squeezing this here and it springs back normally. I mean, it's not like perfect, but it feels way better than it did. And it's actually like properly working, releasing. I can see that all 4 pistons are pushing in the brake pads equally, which is going to give it more power, obviously, right? So that was not what I had planned for this video. My plan was to show you this cleaning method, but I didn't expect that those pistons were like seized in there. I haven't done the front yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do the front. And yeah, I think I made it so these brakes will live another day. Cool. So let me do the front and see how that goes. Okay, so I did the front brake now, and it is amazing. It's a world of difference. Like the levers, when I squeeze them, of course I'm reaching up here and the stand feels kind of funky, but I wouldn't say they're perfect. They're not super snappy, but they feel way better than they did, because before it felt like I was just like squeezing them and nothing, like I could apply the brakes, but it was like there was no feel, there was really nothing going on. Now I can just actually like feel exactly when it's engaging. Definitely feels like they have more grip. That I won't know until I get out and ride it. So let's do that real quick. Just give it a quick test out in the street, see if they work better. Okay, well, here's the test. They feel a lot better in my hands, the levers do. Definitely much better feeling. Do they work better? Marginally. And here's what I think the problem is. When I bedded in the pads, I didn't realize that only one piston or whatever was working, and so the pads really didn't bed in completely. Now with all the pistons working. I'm kind of curious if I need to just rebed in the pads. Actually, believe it or not, they do seem to be getting better as I do the bed in procedure. Oh yeah, I wasn't able to lock up the back brake before. I don't want to do that too much on the pavement. Oh, they got a lot better. I wasn't able to, that's funny, I wasn't able to lock up the front brake in endo before. Now I can. And I wasn't able to skid the rear tire while seated. Let's see if modulation's any better. Like, remember I did a wheelie video a little less than a week ago, and it seemed like I'd grab the brake and the front wheel would come slamming down. Wondering if that's, yeah, I'll have to play around with that. Anyway, it's cold out. It's like 28 degrees. So I'm gonna say this was a huge success. Not what I expected to have happen, but that's what's cool about having my channel, is I get to show you kind of the unexpected oddball things, and maybe something you never knew about cleaning the pistons on your brakes. But like, lever feel is so much better. It's like I have that kind of dead spot right there. I don't know if you can see my fingers in the video. And then I start to grab, and then I have the modulation here. Before, I felt like that dead spot was like all mushy, like it was like, it wasn't like smooth and normal feeling. It was just like super squishy. I don't know how to describe it. Like definitely it was hard to tell where the brakes actually started to engage. Awesome. Sweet, there you have it. That was a super good success. I wasn't expecting what happened, but I figured it out. I figured out how to make the other pads not engage, so I could get the ones that weren't quite moving out. If you're wondering what I stuck in there, I actually had socket extension, 1/4 inch socket extension, which was just the right width to be able to go between the two pads on SRAM guide brakes. Not all brakes are going to be the same. It was just the right width to wedge in there and keep two of the pistons moving while I got the other two to move, and vice versa. So yeah, super stoked on that. My bike ride's awesome. I don't know, I might actually go on a little ride later, but I got to put more winter gear because I just have jeans and a regular jacket and stuff on, not my winter riding gear. So if I'm gonna go ride before it gets dark, I need better gear. Sweet, I really appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.